Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're exploring a fascinating topic at the intersection of AI and education. Are we at risk of letting our brains go soft because AI can think for us? Or could AI actually help us level up into deeper, more meaningful kinds of thinking? We'll unpack both sides of this debate, look at real-life examples, and end with what it all means for the classroom. Let's start with the risk. Intellectual atrophy is the idea that when we stop exercising certain mental muscles, they weaken over time, just like physical muscles. And with AI, we now have tools that can handle tasks we once did ourselves, remembering facts, solving equations, summarizing articles, even writing essays. Take reading an analog clock, for example. How many of us under the age of 30 still need that skill? Most of us now check the time on our phones or digital watches. We've outsourced that skill, and honestly, few people miss it. But here's where it gets more serious. When students stop practicing basic math because AI spits out the answer, they risk losing the understanding behind those numbers. Knowing the quadratic formula is one thing, but knowing when to apply it, why it works, and how to check if the answer makes sense is another. AI can hand us the what, but we still need to own the why. Another example, writing. If students rely on AI to write their essays, they may lose touch with how to organize ideas, argue a point, or develop their own voice. That's not just a mechanical skill. That's part of their identity and thinking process. So yes, there's a real risk here. If we let AI handle the lower-level tasks without engaging our minds, we may get rusty at the very skills that make learning meaningful. But here's the exciting part. If we use AI wisely, it can actually free up brain power for higher-order thinking. Think about it. When calculators became widespread, people feared we'd forget how to do basic math. And sure, many of us don't calculate square roots by hand anymore. But calculators also let us tackle bigger problems we never could have solved on paper. AI offers that same potential on steroids. Imagine a student researching climate change. Instead of spending hours sifting through pages of data, they can ask AI to summarize key trends. That frees them to focus on analysis. Why do these trends matter? What solutions are most promising? How can we communicate this to others? Or picture a musician using AI to generate chord progressions. They still need taste, creativity, and judgment to turn that raw material into a great song. But AI removes the grunt work of trial and error. In education, this opens the door for students to spend less time memorizing and more time interpreting, evaluating, and creating. It's like moving from being a factory worker to a designer. Now let's have some fun with this. Will future kids need to memorize driving directions? Probably not. GPS already handles that. But they will need to know how to judge if a route makes sense, or what to do when the GPS fails. Will people need to memorize recipes? Maybe not, but understanding flavors, adjusting for missing ingredients, and improvising on the fly still takes skill. Will we need to remember phone numbers? Nope, but we do need to know who to call in an emergency. That's judgment, not just memory. These examples remind us that the goal isn't to preserve all old skills for their own sake. It's to be thoughtful about what we offload and what we hold on to because it shapes our thinking. So how can we strike the right balance? For students, use AI as a tool, not a crutch. If AI gives you an answer, ask yourself, do I understand it? Can I explain it to someone else? Could I spot an error if the AI made one? For teachers, design assignments that push past basic outputs. Ask students to critique an AI summary, improve an AI-generated draft, or explore a topic AI couldn't fully explain. Create space for human judgment, reflection, and creativity. And for all of us, let's remember that it's okay to let some old skills fade, as long as we replace them with richer, deeper ways of thinking. So here's the big takeaway. AI doesn't have to make us dumber, but it can if we're not careful. Used wisely, it can free us to focus on the parts of thinking that are the most human: curiosity, creativity, empathy, and wisdom. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you like this discussion, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and drop a comment. What's a skill you think we can safely outsource to AI, and what's one we should protect? See you in the next video.